morning guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we actually have something pretty exciting. We're installing the Maxpeed Racing, the newest generation of their coilovers for the E46, and yes, they did end up reaching out to me, Maxpeed Racing. But honestly, in the previous E46 builds and everything that I've done, I've always used their coilovers. I'll show you exactly which model I used. So it's more of the bring it out into the light. It was more of the cheaper range. So if I put him next to each other, so that's like their older generation, $400 Australian. And this is the newest generation of coilover, the T7. It's a bit more serious. I mean, you can just see with the finish and the quality. It's just so much better. I'm actually really happy that Maxpeeding, I mean, of course, they reached out to me and they wanted me to test out the newest coilover for you guys and for me, because I'm going to unbox this properly. I'm going to lay everything out and show you what's kind of contained in it, what you get for pretty much your money, and how they actually perform, how to adjust them, how to install them roughly. Again, I'll just do a quick rough breakthrough. It'll be a nice quick video because I want to show you guys the most important thing as to why I'm making this video is how to get that nice OEM plus look for your E46 or generally any car. We're going to be installing the coilovers, nothing too aggressive, just a nice OEM plus look. Main reason I wanted to do this as well is just because I don't know if you can hear it, but they're old, very old suspension. This is a 06 model facelift, so I don't know. Every BMW have had to change the suspension because they squeak, they're old, and they're too soft. I feel like once you actually add coilovers to this car, even if it's a daily, it just gives it that more modern look feel. So I'm excited to do that. And to get that OEM plus look, we've bought spacers too. So we've gone 25mm for the rear and 20mm for the front. So it's just going to give us, without spending $1 million, not a million, but without spending about $1,000 to $2,000 on wheels. The whole reason why we're actually doing this is to have the car look factory, but when you look at it, you're just like, why does that car look that little bit better? Why is that one stand out a little bit better? It's because we are going to get the most out of it with spacers, coilovers, and the most performance too. So it's going to be nice, fun, cheap video for you guys and informative for you and me, funny enough. But yeah, enough talking. Let's unbox the new series of the T7 Maxpeed coilovers for you guys. Alright, so I've already unboxed it, but let's just run through what comes inside the box. You get your C spanners and 2 Allen keys. This allows you to lock and adjust your coilover or ride height while off or on the car, doesn't really matter. Installation instructions. I have a really good in-depth installation instruction on this too, so it shows you how to set your dampers, shows you how to set your height, your camber. Yeah, so it's all in there and it's pretty straightforward. That's very handy if it's for the first time you're doing it. Comes with the front coilover, of course. The E46 is different. Some cars have the shock and spring connected, but ours is separate, so the spring comes also inside the box. This allows me to adjust the height of the rear spring, so that's also included with some washers, and the rear strut, of course. So that's everything. It's pretty straightforward and simple. Very nicely packaged, nothing came damaged, and that's about it. Next step, we're just going to park the car up, rip out the old suspension and install it. Guys, what you kind of have to remove and loosen before we get into it. Just one sway bar connection up here, one bolt just down here. Remove the brake lines and any lines so you don't snap any sensors as well. And then of course on top of the strut you have 3 bolts there. Yeah, so these 3. I'll leave these 3 to last just so the suspension has something to hold on to, and I'll do those 2 first. So that's pretty much it. It's not as scary as it seems. Don't be shy to give it a crack. The rears are a little bit more annoying just because they're a separate spring to shock system, but fronts is very easy. That the stock OEM BMW strut is out, and we'll put it next to the coilover and just do a nice like little comparison of the two. But again guys, pretty straightforward. Got one bolt that locks this part in, the bottom part, the actual sway bar connection, and the 3 bolts at the top. And when that's out, it just slides, like you've seen, just slides straight out. Easy peasy, Japanesey. Here's a nice little comparison of the two, which is the Maxpeeding T7 coilover and then the OEM BMW coilover. So again, if you're not familiar with shocks versus coilovers, this is kind of one set, how it is from factory. There's no adjustability. The actual spring, you can see it's very wide, very long. So that's just very soft. It's mainly for comfort, not too much performance. But when you have a more compressed spring, you can handle a lot more weight and a lot more rigidity, stiff, and a lot more feel back from the coilover itself. So that is going to be a pretty hefty difference, especially performance-wise. So I thought this will be the best time to kind of tell you guys more about the new coilover that Maxpeedingrods have actually created for the E46, and the new generation of coilovers in general. So it's the Maxpeedingrods T7. So this is the newest coilover on the market they have. So it is a 24 rebound dampering adjustable, which is simply adjusted by the top part up here. So softer, harder adjustable. So this pretty much controls the dampering setting, which adjusts the stiffness of your ride. There is also preload, which is already preset. It's about 7 to 10 millimeter from Maxpeedingrods themselves, I believe. So there's that. There's other little intricate things about it that I just kind of wrote down because I don't know off the top of my head. So the spring length itself, the fronts. So this is the front. It is 180 millimeter lengthwise. The rears are 183 millimeter length. The front is a 9 kilogram spring. The backs are an 11 kilogram spring. So just going off that, it's pretty much falls into a really good, you can almost, I'd say, track coilover as well. It's very entry level track coilover, but perfect for street. It's perfect for what we're gonna install into the E46. So, and I'll have a straight link to this coilover itself in the description, and I'll link their website in the description as well. I also have a my own promo code too, which you guys can chuck in and get a discount on these coilovers or anything from their website as well. So I do really appreciate if you guys kind of just go on there, chuck that in there, and have a look, see if there's something you guys like. Use my code and get yourself a discount. It's gonna be nice. Okay, I'm gonna chuck this in because my knees hurt. So the top's all bolted up. I've measured the length here. I've done about a 6.5 millimeter between the top and the bottom, but it's pretty much in now. So I'm just gonna jack everything up, bolt everything in. Again, boring stuff, you don't wanna see that. So next we'll just do like a click on my finger and the wheel will be on. So, and all done. So everything's together, wheels are on, spacers are on, all flat and flush. You can already see a lot less sag than the factory suspension. I mean, we haven't adjusted anything to the extent just crazy yet, but yeah, it's all done. I'm just gonna jack it down now. You can kind of get a rough idea. I'm excited to jack it down because it already looks so much better. But yeah, that's straight away, that OEM Plus look is definitely, I think we achieved it. Yes. Again, we eyeballed it. I didn't actually expect to go off-road setting, so I've actually put a lift kit on it by accident. Again, I eyeballed the measurements, which we went from what, 3 fingers to now 4 fingers. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to jack it up and then we'll drop it down a fair bit. So now we actually know where to go from. We got a lot to play with, so we'll keep going down. But on the positive note, the 20mm spaces are actually they're spot on. So they fit perfect. It fills the guards out a lot better now instead of sitting all the way in, and it gives it that wider, aggressive look. That's what I mean by like that the OEM plus look. So once we drop that, it would add more to it. So I'm pretty keen on that. If we look from here as well, like it's pretty perfect. I mean, we could do a little bit of camber, but I think I'm happy with that. So again, 20mm spaces at the front. I'll let you guys know my tire spec just in case. 225 45 R17. Again, Michelin Sports PS5s. Look, I'm sorry, I remember the style of this. It was like style 63, I think, one of them. And the specs possibly in, I'll write the specs up so I'm not just guessing. So I'll put it like around here for you guys. So now we're starting on the back. It's kind of very similar procedure. I'll show you guys a little breakdown of what to do and whatnot. The convertible has a little bit of a different way to reach the 2 bolts that connect the top of the strut, which I'll show you what position you have to get the roof in to get to. It's actually a lot easier than a coupe as well. It's less squishy. It's actually pretty convenient and pretty smart of BMW to do it this way. But yeah, let's start on the rears. I might keep the rear height, but we'll see if the spaces we got are gonna fill in that guard, because that's a pretty big difference. So we'll see. Hopefully I didn't get too aggressive of a spacer. You can already just tell by when the car's jacked how much slack the actual OEM suspension has. I mean, for an OEM suspension, it is what it is, but they're also squeaking. So changing it to the T7 coilovers in the back, and this, you can already see between these 2 springs. It's a much more compressed and firmer spring. So that's going to give the car a lot better responsive feel and better drive too. So can't wait to chuck those in. I'll show you guys quickly what has to be unbolted, and then I'll just probably jam through it quickly, so not spending too much time. You have 1 bolt back here, 1 bolt back there, so you release that one. Once you loosen that back bolt, this should drop. This is going to only drop a certain amount. You can possibly disconnect it from the bracket here to give it a bit more actual leeway. I believe I don't really do that. I just use the OEM jack and chuck between here and push these out, and I'll just rip this out. And then the top 2 bolts, I can show you guys where they're located in a second. And to get to the top of the strut bolts is just under this part here. So once you remove the roof to that certain angle, underneath these 2 plastic caps, you have the 2 10mm sockets that hold the top of the strut in. So we'll remove that and drop the old strut out. We'll chuck the new one in. To save everybody some time, I just click my fingers and then I'll do the complete swap over, and then I can't just talk about it once they're done. So and done. That was pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. So spring, everything's in. If you ever want to adjust the height, it's through here. If you want to adjust the dampening and spring rate, I believe it's through here. But yeah, it was pretty straightforward, pretty good. Besides the, I guess, the running into that 2 angled out bolt issue, just had to hammer it back in. Everything was pretty straightforward and easy, and it looks really nice. Got the spacer on as well. So now we're just going to chuck the wheel on, lower it down, and see if we need to adjust anymore. But yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so it's a few days into the future now. I've let everything pretty much settle. There are a few things we're gonna change today. So today's pretty much to dial in, get everything kind of correct, see what we can do and get it sitting perfect. I do want to swap the 25mm spacers over to the front and then 20mm to the back. Only because, again, right now, I will swap them over back in the future, but right now, you might have seen earlier too, I haven't rolled the guards, so this sits pretty perfect, but if I lower it any further than this, it's going to start scraping. So I'm going to try the 20mm on the back and 25 on the front. If not, I'll just get rid of the spacers in the back for now. But I think that's gonna, once we do all the dialing in, it's gonna sit pretty perfect. Now I'm just gonna jack up the back and remove the part where you can adjust the height for the rear shock, just cause it's just, even at the lowest setting, I might have done it wrong, but that's just how much wheel gap we have and we don't want that. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're gonna be doing, is removing this section here so it can go lower. All right, so the part that we're gonna remove is already out. I'm just gonna put the spring back in as it is and see how much lower we can get. All right, sweet, everything's back together. And I think that should drop us enough. I mean, we're dropping about, a thumb's gap down. So I think that should be perfect, hopefully. If not, we'll readjust everything, but yeah, we'll put the tire back on and then we'll drop it down. God, I think we got it actually perfect. I don't know how we got away with it, but the back is sitting equal now. The front's nice and low with a bit of front camber. So I'll show you guys. It's a bit hard to see here, but we will give it a complete wash and take it outside and give it a drive too. But look how tight the rears fit. The rears, like, they get a bit of natural camber, which is perfect, but it's gonna scrub for sure, because like it's literally just a finger. As nice as it's sitting now, I still think chucking the 20mm at the back for now would be better than the 25mm, just so I can have a bit more aggression at the front from the front guards, and I can take away a bit in this. It's not 100% necessary to have tire to guard, so I might just do that instead of swapping the front tires to back. But worst case scenario, if I drive it and it's still shit with the 20mm in the back, 25mm in the front, then I can put the 245s at the front and 225s at the back. And I know we'll just keep playing around with it to see how to get it perfect, but I can't believe how good that looks now when it's even, because before it looked like it was just horrendous, but this looks so good. So I just parked up somewhere pretty nice where we could walk around the E46 and show you guys how we dialed it in and how it's sitting. And after that walk around, we will take it out and talk about the new coilovers, because I know I've been really liking them. But anyway, enough of that. We'll walk around the E46 because I think it sits perfect now. I mean, the perfect OEM plus spec. So this is how it's sitting right now. It's pretty almost perfect. It's just the rears do scrape, so I do want to put the 25mm on the front and the 20mm on the back, and I think that would be perfect. But yeah, I reckon for below $1,000 for like a budget build, if you want your car to look aggressive, I think it's pretty perfect, to be honest. Sits amazingly, sits even now. It looks so good, especially when you fill out the guards. It just makes such a big difference. Bit of front camber. I mean, the car just looks so much better now, especially from this angle. So again, all we did, the rears are, like I mentioned, they are scraping. Like, there's literally no gap. So that's why I want to drop either the 25mm to the front and get the 20mm on the back. That should help. If not, the 245s at the front and the 225s at the back, and that should give me a bit more steering grip and you can kick out a bit easier. But other than that, they sit perfect. Got a bit of natural camber in the back. The fronts also have a bit of camber, but I did that myself. Again, all below $1,000. Give thanks to Maxpeeding Racing for sending out their coilovers, because I wouldn't be able to have the car sitting like this, or at least feel this good too if it wasn't for them. So big shout out and massive thanks to them. But like, how good does that look for a factory setup? Like, this thing, I wouldn't even touch it. You don't need to buy aftermarket wheels. Yeah. So I'll do like a little B-roll and then we'll go take it out and give it a good review. How the coilover, I mean, not so much review, but at least you guys can see how it drives. So I'll give it a quick drive. Again, you guys are going to hear a lot of tire scraping, just because, again, I need to fix up the fitment properly, just because how aggressive it is and how much it actually has sat and sank. But other than that, honestly, I have no complaints with the suspension. There's no squeaking or creaking. It responds great. Yeah, I actually, for what you pay for, like $700 Australian, honestly, it's for sure bang for buck. Oh, okay, my car. It's bang for buck for sure. But already, I mean, this is already in a pretty aggressive, I have it pretty set, quite aggressive, so the steering is very responsive, the car responds great. It already gave it that modern feel that was kind of missing in the car, so that's kind of what I was really after, and that look. So again, guys, if you're thinking about it and you want something just to like fit your budget, nothing crazy, definitely these coilovers are for sure an option. Just because, like, look, they're not the cheapest one, like $300-400, but they're not also BC Racing, which are $1,800. So you save yourself $1,000, and again, this has been 2 weeks, not like I haven't just jumped in and telling you guys this without actually testing the coilovers. I've been driving for about 1 week and a bit now with them, and I haven't had any issues besides my own installation faults that I probably would have done. Other than that, it's been excellent. The car WRX, the car sits good, drives good. It's just, man, all that it is yeah, it's the scraping. When I go home, I'm gonna fix that, because when it sits down, it plants it and it's a bit weird. But other than that, like, it's good. Cornering's good. I just gotta change the spaces around, like that. Easy, handled that easy. And I reckon I could use these coilovers to take drifting too, because I do want to build an E46 that, of course, I want to drift. So this one isn't automatic, so it's not too much of something that I want to do a manual swap in. Maybe, I don't know. It really depends if I find a good one. But the main reason for this car was just to get that nice OEM spec look for below $1,000, like a budget E46. And all I did was, again, spacers, which were like $150, let's just say all of them, and $700 for the Maxpeeding T7 new generation coilover. And all that pretty much combined, if you just want something that stands out, that's probably the road that I would take. So you still remain your OEMness, you don't get too much attention from police, depending how low you go. But I think this is a good amount of height where the car looks OEM, and you're not going to get hassled too much. Yeah, I really do like them, and I think I love the adjustability that as well as it comes with. You get the camber, you get dampering, and of course complete height adjustment too, which is a massive plus, especially for the price range. Again, I keep coming back to that, but for something that's around, I'm just going to say $800, it's very close to, or similar to coilovers that are up there around the 1,500, 1,800. So I mean, it's just a great budget option. It's not something I would probably look or be my first option if I was to track a car, I mean time attack at least. But look, if I was to build a drift car, I'd probably grab these, just because I'm not trying to break lap records. I just need something to stiffen up the chassis. So I think these do a great job of that. They definitely stiffen up the chassis. They add the response. I feel like I have a lot more throttle response, and the car picks up quicker just because there's less body roll. Even in cornering, of course, it's quite good. Yeah, I like him. I just need to fix that. When I go home, I'm gonna swap the spacers over, because this is, when it's settled, it's actually pretty bad, because every time I get on throttle or want to do heavy throttle, the rear squats and then it just scrapes, so it's a bit intense. Other than that, guys, again, I give the new Maxpeeding coilovers, the T7s, rating wise, yeah, I mean, like a 6.57 out of 10, because I think they're very good. I mean, for what I want to do and what I wanted to use them for, quite good. Alright, so I just got back and I'm going to swap the spacers over, just because it was really irritating me, and I do want to, well, I daily the car, so I'm going to need it tomorrow. So we're going to swap the 25s to the front and the 20s to the back. Alright, so we're done. 25 mils on the front, and exactly like I estimated, that is the perfect fitment. So 25 mils front, that's the way to go. And 10 mil has enough clearance in the back, so it's not overly aggressive, and we still have finger gap, so that's going to clear now. So that will clear. I mean, it's not going to be as constant. I can roll it a tad bit, but that's the combo. 25 mil front, 20 mil back, 245, 225. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the OEM plus budget E46 setup. And I will catch you guys in the next video when we paint the bonnet, and we'll see where we go from there. We've got a few interior bits that we need to fix up, and the WRX we need to get the STI kit and spoiler on too. So again, guys, a like and subscribe will mean the world, and you know, drop a comment. Always happy to speak to you guys. So see you guys in the next video.